Hey, what's up? It's Frank here from DataDriven.tv, the podcast where we focus on the emerging fields of data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. I'm here once again at the Las Vegas Mirage in the lobby, not in the conservatory with a really fancy dome, but I'm here with a real leader, a real data leader. That's right, I am here with the one and only, the Unbreakable, Kim Schmidt. How you doing, Kim?
I'm doing great.
Cool.
Thanks, Frank.
No problem. So Bertie tells me that you have a big project coming up. It's
I do. Well, I'm in the midst of writing a book called Artificial Intelligence and Analytics on AWS, as I'm wearing an IO t-shirt.
Right. So
and a Microsoft contract.
So you're working on a book.
I'm working on a book, yes.
And we have all three companies here represented.
Yes, at this one little circle right here.
Right. That's why you should tune in to DataDriven.tv, because we're not just Microsoft, we're not just AWS. Even though I work for Microsoft, but math is math. Data science is data science.
That's right. Like your t-shirt says, I predict the future.
Right,
you have to predict the future, okay?
Right.
And so that's what my book's all about, is all of the advanced analytics services that AWS has, and all of their artificial intelligence services that they have, how to put them together in complete workflows to get different types of insights. And some of them are very, very sophisticated, but they're not that hard to use if somebody explains it to you. So I get people over the learning curve, and I have some really unique use cases that are some of the most popular use cases from real companies, and it's their production workload in analytics. So you get to see how they build their production analytical workflows. And so you'll be privy to that when you read my book.
And that's important, because the barrier to entry in this, it's not necessarily difficult,
right?
But the words that people toss around is like, what in God's name does that mean?
Yeah, and you can get intimidated at the beginning when you're starting to work on something and it just seems too hard. But really, it just takes perseverance, like anything else. And once you have somebody to walk you through it and get you, over that initial fear, then, you've got an example to work from, and it makes it that much easier to move ahead quicker.
Right, exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. And that's really the key, is that first step. And I think geeks like normal, regular geeks, now you understand how normal people must feel when we start talking, right? Because when these data science people get in the room, it's like, what?
Yeah.
And I knew I crossed the bridge when people would look at me like that. Like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, yes, yay me.
I'm here.
Yay me, I can confuse people.
Yeah.
And
it becomes your everyday vernacular, right? So like AWS has over 100 services, and so and they have so many more analytical services and different ways of querying databases than any other cloud provider.
Okay,
so it gets very confusing.
That part may be debatable. All right, so we'll leave the political discussion. But
it's a lot of new terms.
It's a lot.
It is.
Right, we can all agree that it's a lot. Microsoft has a lot, Google has a lot, Amazon has a lot. And I think it's really going to be it's just going to be like the last century, right? The big three last century were Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler. Yeah. And I think this century, the big three are going to be Google, AWS, and Microsoft. Yeah, absolutely.
And they all have different approaches and different methodologies to their technologies. And it's kind of striking when you know all of them and seeing the very obvious differences. You could probably predict it, but again, it doesn't really matter what company you go with, as far as a vendor goes. The fact is, you just have to be in the cloud and take advantage of all the things that the cloud provides for you.
Hey, we have Data Trek is listening. All right, so I'll close out the podcast and I'll do a Q&A if there's interest. All right, so thanks, Kim, for your time, and signing off from wonderful, hot Las Vegas, Nevada.